And you see, while women around the world are making history, the story is a lot different in Afghanistan. The Taliban-ruled Afghanistan, which has no mercy for women. As you might already know, teenage Afghan girls are barred from schools, but all the scrutiny could not stop many of them from seeking education. So what did the perpetrators of hate do? They seem to have taken notes from Iran. Some 77 Afghan girls have been hospitalized due to poisoning in 2 separate attacks. What exactly happened? Let's first tell you about the attacks. They took place in Saripur province. Some unknown people broke into 2 elementary schools. They entered the classrooms and carried out the poisonings. The nature of the poison has not been discovered yet, but if we were to go by the history, it could be a gas attack. 60 girls were poisoned in Naswan-e-Kabod Ab school. 17 others took a hit in neighboring Naswan-e-Faizabad school. All this for what? Just for seeking education? For something that was well within those girls' basic human rights. Women of Afghanistan have been suffering for a long time. And now incidents of poisoning like these, of poverty, of hunger, these are the ones you can easily see. But then there are crises that are not so obvious to the eye. I'm here to tell you all about it, about the crisis of mental health in Afghanistan. It's being called a pandemic of suicidal thoughts. Afghan women riddled with mental health problems, they are crying out for help. This report saying when the Taliban announced that women could be banned from universities, psychologist Dr. Amal received 170 calls for help within 2 days, and these girls suffered from depression and anxiety. They were concerned about their bleak future. Many even wanted to kill themselves. On an average, Dr. Amal gets roughly 7 to 10 such calls every day. Afghanistan has been ravaged by 4 decades of war. The UN estimates that every 1 in 2 people, most of them women, suffered from some sort of psychological distress. This was before the Taliban took over in 2021. And things are now way worse than before. One young girl killed herself the day schools reopened in March. Up until that day, she had some hope, but her worst fears were confirmed when girls were not allowed in. Another one in her 20s turned to suicide because she was not allowed to sit for university entrance examinations. She wanted to become a doctor. She wanted to serve her country. These were the stories of the students, some of the students. What about the teachers? Well, they did not have it any better because when the Taliban closed universities for women, female teachers were not excused. A teacher tried to kill herself twice. She was the breadwinner of the family and lost her job. The list goes on and on. There are hundreds of such stories, tales of horror, women whose lives came to a grinding halt. All thanks to the Taliban. What exactly is the suicide toll? Who knows? Because it's Afghanistan we are talking about. Psychiatrists are not allowed to record or access suicide statistics, but there are some reports we can refer to. According to the Afghan Independent Human Rights Commission, about 3,000 Afghans attempt to take their own lives every year. Globally, there are more male suicides than female suicides, but in Afghanistan, about 80% of suicide attempts are by women. The World Health Organization estimating more than 1 million Afghans suffer from depressive disorders. There isn't one reason, but several. Violence against women is widespread. According to the United Nations Population Fund, 87% of Afghan women have been victims of physical, sexual, or psychological violence. 62% have experienced multiple forms of abuse. Forced marriages are prevalent. Many are married before their 18th birthday. amid this suffering, what else do you expect? Of course, Afghan women are grappling with mental health issues. Afghan women urgently need help. But will they ever get it? WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.